more elevated, but yeah. Yeah, everyone start putting their clan tags on. Look nice. I'll put it on. No, but like, now I live in an area where there's tornadoes and there's like one outside apparently. Scary. That's
Sorry about that. I was just trying to get the stream set up. Or the game set up, sorry, but for whatever reason I couldn't switch to the codcaster role, so you had to hear that interruption.
in the clan, but yeah, you gotta do it, bro. Alright. Wait, tornadoes jump over hills, bro? I'm searching this up.
Buddhist Legion. I know. I realize that.
No, the podcaster said he can join the podcaster thing. Let me see that.
Okay, we're about to get started here. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We have a scrim going on between Reboost and Team Mazizaw. Looks like they're doing a best of 5 hardpoint. Maps are going to be Azir Cave, Gunrunner, Hackney Yard, Ramaza, and St. Petrograd. Just waiting for them to do their final preparations here. I think I have that set up backwards in terms of the team names. Let me just quickly fix that. Making sure I set that up properly. Okay. Yep, they're Coalition. They are Allegiance. And that's how we have it set up. Looks like we're getting ready to start here. Hardpoint is your Cave. It's going to be map 1. I've seen Reboost play kind of. They've changed quite a bit. Started out as Team Primitive, then it split into 2 and being Reboost and Void. So it'll be interesting to see how this newly formed team performs with each other. Never seen Mazizaw play yet, so it'll definitely be interesting to see how they perform in their first scrim in the UGL. And here we go. It begins. Hopefully there's no dev errors. That happens from time to time. Seems like it's a smooth transition. Here we go. Skill going to the point, trying to get set up. Of course, the smoke is thrown. It's contested. Big battle about to happen here. Already one down on the Reboost side. But he slides in and takes him out. Well, Official gets lucky, and that guy just walks right in front of him. One in the building over there. He's trying to watch under the bridge. Pops around the corner and takes him out. Almighty trying to move in. Manages to get a kill. He's on the point, getting some defense set up. Oh, Official tried to pop over there and shoot the guy, but he was already dead. Almighty tucked into the corner. He was in a really good spot, just kind of sneaking, or staying stealthy, sorry. Getting some cap points. Running into that house. Didn't look to the right. Looks like Mazizaw is just finishing up on the point. God's just locking it down while the new one spawns. Reboost is already on it. They have a pretty good defensive perimeter set up. If they can hold this for a few more seconds, they're going to take the lead. Started to try to cover that back cave, but eBay managed to get it in. Now Mazizaw takes over on the point. Retakes the lead. Ooh, Almighty manages to take out Legion, but it's turned around by Dank. He gets taken out. Mazizaw still holding up the point. Reboost really struggling to get onto this one. I don't think eBay was ready for that. Reboost is on it now, but... Or sorry, Mazizaw is on it. Reboost moving to the next point. Which they've got it. But Mazizaw so far has proven that they've been able to just sweep in there and take over the point. Even when Reboost has gotten there first. Good defense by Mazizaw. Oh my goodness, I just got crazy lag spike going on. And everything just popping on my screen at once here. There we go. Reboost starting to build back a little bit of a lead. They're kind of on and off the point, but they have a good defense set up here. Mazizaw proving to have a little bit of trouble trying to move in. Just as they were about to get some momentum pushing into the cave, seems like they lost it. However, the new point is up, and they are already on it. However, they're not getting any type of... Okay, they're capping it now. They're just sitting on the edge originally. That was a lucky, survivable move there by Skill. He's just going to hide in the box, get some precious points, and keep building on that lead. Oh, but he manages to get taken out. Mazizaw just swooped in there. It's a pretty common spot to know about, so... sorry, I left the music on there. Mazizaw finishing off the point. Reboost anticipating the next move. Gets a trophy system up. Mazizaw trying to push in. Takes out Walrus, and they're on it. However, Dank comes in from the backside, gets a couple kills there. Or a kill, sorry. Mazizaw, yet again, just taking over the point and holding it down. Always leaving Reboost with trying to flee to the next point and try to get the jump on it. And they've been doing that pretty consistently throughout the map. But unfortunately, when Mazizaw comes in there, they're managing to just clear it out and take it over. Good kill by Skill. Tries to get a double. Reboost is on the next point. Now let's see if it's the same situation here. Looks like they're playing a little bit better defense here. Three of them died right in that entrance into this area. Reboost actually doing a really good job of locking it down and getting precious points. Sorry, HCAS. I didn't know what hotkey that was. It took me a while to figure it out, but they're gone now. Reboost trying to get to the point first, but Mazizaw's already there. Good shot by God. But then he gets taken out by Legion. Just good support by the Mazizaw team. However, this is going to be a pretty good conflict right here. All 5 members of each team just jumping in on the point. Looks like Mazizaw, for the most part, won the exchange. Almighty keeping them alive. He managed to get reinforcements by eBay. Now Mazizaw spreading out over the map, trying to cover those other angles where Reboost might come in from. They're already anticipating the next move of the point. Still anybody's game. But if Mazizaw just keeps running into these after Reboost has started with them and just clearing them out and taking them over, it's going to be their game. Hope they manage to take God down. No, this might be their chance, however. Oh, they managed to take it over. Reboost just kind of pushed in there relentlessly and took it over. However, Mazizaw slowly creeping to 250. And they managed to just clear out the end of it. Now they're just abandoning it and moving on to the next point. Which Reboost already is on it, as usual. Seems like Mazizaw always is holding the end of it. They've already lost one teammate. This will be crucial for Mazizaw to break in here and take over the game. I didn't see where that one was coming from. Oh, they got a good spawn though. Reboost spawning right close to the point. However, Mazizaw rushing up to cover the angles and doing a really good job of holding it down. Oh, he's going for the flank. Let's see if AR will pull it off. They already got one kill, but they figured him out. Almighty just sitting on the point, increasing his team's score significantly. 9 left. They're just going to start moving on to the next one, and if they get there before Reboost does, it's going to be game over. Especially with eBay securing that kill. Just shooting blindly into the smoke, and Mazizaw takes the first game. Pretty close, though. I wouldn't say that it was, you know, absolute domination. There was times when Reboost had a chance, but they couldn't ever really control the point, so they were always forced to anticipate the next spawn. And when they would get the next spawn, Mazizaw would just sweep in there and take them out, and would basically get more contribution to their score total. Really good performance kill-wise as well. Every single player in the positive in terms of kill-death ratio. Whereas if you look to Reboost, it's a little bit of a different story. But that's only game 1. It's a best of 5, so there's lots of time for things to change. We're just switching hosts here, so just give us a moment to set up. Perfect. Just perfect. Getting a dev error. That's definitely gonna complicate things. More than likely, I bet the game's already started now.
Match and everything.
Oh, we're lucky. These dev errors, man, like, I don't know, like, why they haven't ironed this stuff out. You have a game where over 60 million people are playing, and you can't fix stuff like that? Come on. Okay, let's see what the next map is here in the meantime while we're waiting for this to sort out. So we started with Azir Cave. We are now on to Gunrunner. Yeah, that's one thing that's definitely going to complicate things, is definitely seeing people talk about latency is of course that's going to be an issue. We can only really do our best to accommodate everybody. by switching hosts or having somebody central is usually ideal. However, if there are teams from the UK, swapping back and forth I think is really the only fair way to kind of make that work. Not sure exactly what they're discussing right now, but I think they're figuring something out here. Here we go. We are starting. So Gunrunner, hardpoint yet again. Game mode isn't changing for the entire series. Reboost definitely has to bounce back here after suffering a loss in the first round. Bouncing around, getting a couple kills there. Drops 3 reboosts right off the start. A little bit of action going in the boiler room here. Walrus is going to try and get a cross angle here, but he's about to run into 2 Mazizaw, which he does, and he goes down. Reboost is the first on the point, getting a couple points, trying to establish some sort of a defensive formation, which it looks like they're gonna keep contributing. They're preventing Mazizaw from getting on it. Nobody on it now. Nobody at all. Genesis tries to get on it, and then Mazizaw takes over, but then they get taken out. The guy that was on the point there. Official trying to move up. Walrus just sitting on it, getting the points near the end. Mazizaw's already on the next one. eBay's got a good angle through the door. Takes out Walrus, but then Legion gets him. And Reboost gets onto the point. Legion, bad time to turn around, but he wasn't spotted, so he manages to hold the point. Reboost actually getting out to a pretty juicy lead here at the start. Let's see if they can maintain it. Mazizaw is trying to look at a way to get into the building, but they just keep getting stopped outside. God trying to break in. He's injured. He's going to try and go from the top, which is definitely proves to be a good strategy, and he takes over the point. But there's only just over 10 seconds left, with Reboost abandoning it and moving on to the next one. Mazizaw greeting them with gunfire. Smoke. Nobody really knows where anybody is. Skill gets taken out, trying to sit on the point. Same with Official. Mazizaw moves onto it, starts getting precious points. But not for long. Each team hasn't really established any type of consistent time on this point. Mazizaw looks like they're going to be the first team to actually get that consistency. Ooh, almost takes out his teammate. I think he definitely contributed to his death. Reboost just building up on the other side. Almighty just holding it down, basically single-handed. But he gets taken out, but by that point, his team reinforces the hard point. Reboost, I believe, has just given up on that, and they're like, we're not going to get that. We're just going to go to the next point. Mazizaw knows this, though, sends 2 over that way. They manage to stop them from getting in, and quickly... Oh. The host ended the game. I don't know exactly what was the reason for that. Maybe a latency thing, or somebody may have dropped. I don't know. No, I'm not quite sure what happened there. Oh, this is the... That's unfortunate, because Reboost was definitely off to a better start that time. So we're just going to take a second here, try and, you know, figure out exactly what happened. Of course, since Call of Duty is such a well-coded game, the chat box will not appear for me. So I'm just going to have to hope that they're figuring it out now. I assume it probably had something to do with latency, and there's a potential host switch.
Like here.
Okay, we're in a new game. So I think that was definitely a host switch. Somebody must have been suffering some extreme lag. And that definitely isn't something that you want while you're playing a first-person shooter, that's for sure. So we'll just take a moment here while they get set up. Maybe turn the music back on. You guys are wondering about the music. It's an artist called Harris Heller. Makes just like chillax, you know, beats. And the good thing about them is you can use them on Twitch. There's no copyright infringement by using them. He's one of the artists that obviously likes the promotion that that he's getting from people using his music on streaming services, which is always good. Hopefully other artists see the benefit at some point. Okay, everybody has their teams assigned. We're just waiting for the final checks that everybody, I guess, is doing before the game launches. In terms of the breakdown, we have a pretty even split between Xbox, PlayStation, and PC, with only one mouse and keyboard player. However, there is 4 total PC players, some of them opting to use a controller instead. Oh, this delay could have been my fault. I didn't realize it, but I wasn't on Codcaster, but it still seems like they haven't started yet. I don't know if they're trying to type to me, because when you're Codcasting, every once in a while it glitches out the chat box and you can't even see the window. Just so you guys know what I'm talking about here. If you look at the bottom right, there's no chat window. If you hit enter, nothing pops up. So I can't have any type of communication with the teams right now. So, but they're starting the match, so that's a good sign. No dev errors again. It's a good sign. So this is just basically going to be a restart of Gunrunner. And here we go. Hopefully, Reboost can get off to that same type of start that they had before. Sometimes that delay really changes the momentum. And already right off the start, you can tell that has flipped. With Mazizaw basically getting the full team wipe of Reboost. They're on the point, it's active. Tallying up their score. Reboost trying to fan out. They managed to take over the point. Mazizaw trying to kind of set up some sort of angle coverage, but they can't break in. I think they've already given up, even though there's lots of time left on the hard point. I don't know why they'd move on so early. Almighty's kind of questioning, should I move on to it? Should we just hold the next spot? However, Mazizaw's still getting some kills, but just letting them get over 20 seconds of points right off the beginning of the game, even if you control the next section. If they get lucky and come and sweep through that building and take the next point, you're at a huge deficit right off of the beginning of the game. So we'll see how Reboost actually bounces back from this. Either way, even if they don't, the scores are going to be really close after this. Skills in a good position inside. Trophy system set up. Genesis takes him out. Dank is already moving in through the window. He bounced back out though and ended up going through the door. Gets taken out. Lots of exchanges happening. God comes in here. Takes out 2 Reboost players. And they take it over. But a little bit of disruption, so Mazizaw didn't get full points. Now it's really going to be up to, if Legion here... Sorry, not Legion. Switched to the wrong player. Dank. He did manage to get in there and kill them. Gets a couple of ending points to keep Reboost in the lead, which actually turned out to be pretty beneficial, because now they're onto the minecart section here. Minecarts is really easy to defend generally when you already have the point. a lot of exploding items coming out of the boiler room and at the farther end, near where B would spawn. However, Mazizaw takes it over. eBay goes in and flanks, but gets taken out by Official. Ouch, that would have been a strong contribution to points there if he managed to take that kill. But still, no team just getting onto the point and holding it for a long period of time. That's the one reason why I like this point in particular, is there's a lot of action here. It's never a stale situation, that's for sure. But Reboost getting a majority of the points. Team already moving on. I think Mazizaw's on it, yep. They get it to start. They might be able to take the lead, especially if those 3 players running around prevent Reboost from getting in. But Dank managed to go on the other side of that propane tank, takes out the player that was kind of sitting there, and then him getting up was going to be a really good play, but it seemed like Walrus and Genesis actually finished off the rest of the Mazizaw players. Now they're trying to push in. They're on the point. Reboost got wiped. They got a long respawn. It's going to be hard for them to get back to that point. Don't know if they're going to give up and maybe try to go to the next one. There is also a possibility, though, for Mazizaw to think the same thing. Didn't seem like they were done yet, but now they're going to have to be. There's no point trying to push back in there just to get a couple points. You can hear dead silence enabled. So Reboost is on it. Doesn't seem like they were able to get much of a setup outside coming into the building, which is really going to leave Walrus with a lot to handle, and he couldn't. He's immediately taken out. 3 people on the hard point. It's going to be really difficult now for Reboost to get in there. Mazizaw starting to get the lead and starting to run away with it. God, just chilling in the corner here. Getting those precious points for his team. Just for a little information, their competition, originally it was going to be domination for Season 1, but we had a league vote and everybody wanted a CDL rotation. So now it's going to be best of 5 with a CDL rotation for the game modes. Mazizaw getting out of the point. Starting to build a really strong lead here. Get the trophy system up. I heard criticism of that in the previous game that they weren't using the trophy system enough. eBay obviously is adapting. Just getting really solid points there. Starting to run away with it. However, there's lots of time. They just have to stop Mazizaw from getting to the point and getting those long periods of staying on top of it like they've been doing previously. Now it looks like they're just going to leave it neutral, move on to the next one. And Mazizaw's already on it. Not giving Reboost really a chance at all. They're going to have to push into the building. And this building is a tricky one. There's that rail system up at the top there that you can sneak in through the window and climb on. And if you're not paying attention up there, that can be dangerous. It's contested. There's a lot of Mazizaw players in there, and really, he had no backup, unfortunately, for Legion. Walrus can't break in. They got a really good defensive perimeter set up. God watching the door. Oh, he saw the shadow. What a good attention to detail, that's for sure. Reboost falling back. This next hardpoint could be the end for them. And this is going to be a good hard point to end on, that's for sure. Reboost trying to break in through the back. Oh, comes out of the smoke. Oh, but he had support from his teammate there. A skill would have been dead. Ouch. Looks like the trophy system was the cause of that death. And if Reboost doesn't get on there quickly, they're going to have enough points here to seal the game. And it looks like they have enough defense to do it. Yep. So Mazizaw is going to take game 2. 250 to 117. A lot more dominant performance here. It was a little bit closer in the first game, but now Mazizaw is really showing their strengths. All players on their team, yet again, going in the positive in terms of kill deaths. However, I don't know how long that was going on for, but Reboost was playing down a player. Just going to see if I can talk to them here and find out exactly what was going on. Hey, how long were you guys down a player for, or did they just leave right at the end? Oh, shit. Do you guys want to restart that one? Where are most of you guys based out of? East Coast? Ah, I see. Yeah, that kind of makes it challenging. Yeah, I don't know what to say. For the... Yeah, well... East might be the best option, especially if you have an EU player. Well, I'll let you guys figure it out. I'm ready to go whenever. Okay, so just more hosting issues, as you heard me talking. They have a real big mix of players on that team. West Coast, East Coast, EU, which definitely makes it a little bit more complicated to have a mutual host to satisfy all different locations. So they're going to figure it out here. So we're just going to take a little bit of time for them to figure out the host situation, and then we'll get started back up here. To be honest, after watching Mazizaw here, I'd like to actually see them give RHI a try. RHI so far has proven to be, you know, one of the more dominant teams, and just watching the way that Mazizaw is playing in terms of their objective defense and just the way that they're fragging, I think they'd be a good team to play RHI. Okay, so we're getting started here. So I guess we're just moving on with the next map. Not going to do a replay. So now we got Hackney Yard. Yet again, hardpoint. Let's see how this goes. Okay, so Mazizaw on the point early. And in all the times I've watched this map, nobody blows up the van. That's like, I love blowing up the van. And it's usually a good way to get a couple kills in the process, so. Oh, almighty, just overwhelmed. Reboost gets in there and gets on the point. But an explosion managed to... Oh, look, Semtex grenade manages to take him out. Mazizaw sitting on it again. Reboost back to the drawing board of how to get in here and get on the point. And they still can't find a way. Looks like they're already moving on to the next point. Yep, just as it ends. Reboost is already on to the next one. Got a trophy system set up. Looks like they have some pretty good angle coverage. However, we got eBay coming up the stairs, or I thought he was going to go up the stairs, but he runs out, trying to take out those players that are sweeping around the outside. Well, the rest of his team seemed to come in the other entrance to the building, I think through the window. Kill the players that were on the point. Now they got a good, solid defense set up. 2 players on the point, 3 players sweeping around the map, preventing Reboost from getting in. Seems to be working. Reboost not giving up, though, or at least Walrus isn't. He's going to try and get in here, which he doesn't. And yet again, they're forced to just leave it and move on to the next one. Now, this hardpoint is so exposed. It is just absolute mayhem. This is one of my favorite ones to watch here. But Mazizaw's showing that it's not easy to take over and hold down. They got a really good support system going on, covering all those angles so their players could just sit safely on the hard point and get points. Like, massive lead right off the beginning of the game. Not much point time towards Reboost in reality. Still just locking it down. eBay tried to move out, got taken out, but I think God was the one who covered him. So at least he didn't die for nothing. And Reboost on to the next point. Now this is going to be really where the game is decided, because if Mazizaw just walks in here and takes this point, it's going to leave Reboost in a really tough position to get back into this game, especially with what the deficit is already sitting at. Oh. Unfortunately, he was covering the wrong way. That's where his team was reinforcing from. Oh, Dank makes a pretty clutch play to get some crucial points at the end of the hard point. Now, Reboost is already on the next one, so if they can lock this down, this could be where they get close. If they can hold down this hard point for the entire duration, they're pretty much on par with Mazizaw. Also, Jack, I'd watch yourself making accusations like that. Reboost getting precious points here. Definitely bringing them within reach. The only problem is, though, is Mazizaw already on this point getting set up. Looks like they got a good defense system. Reboost trying to push in. Mazizaw locking it down. Here's the footsteps up top. Good play by Almighty. He's just tearing it up, not letting them get in the building. However, he ends up falling. Throws the smoke down. They're still on the point. Reboost can't get in there. eBay missing. Legion falling back to regenerate. Same with eBay. Almost pushes out right onto a Semtex. Got lucky there. Now he's going to make a second push. Seems like they have a really good exterior defense. And now the point is flipped. Reboost on it. But Mazizaw with a really effective lead. Yet again, though, Reboost left in a position where they could secure some pretty important points here and get close to tying the game. It's just all about if they can lock it down. But Mazizaw making little pokes here and there, trying to get to the point. The only problem is, though, is if Mazizaw gets the next point, that's going to leave them in a real tough position. So I think I see what they're doing already. They're going to move to the next point, leave one guy on the previous point. Legion making a crucial kill. Crucial 2 kills, actually. However, Mazizaw's already on it. Reboost has got to get in there and take it over immediately, which it looks like they're about to do. They already have 2 players on it, but this is the worst one to defense. And the only problem is with that trophy system placement, you want to get it outside of the hard point. You throw a grenade in there and that trophy system disrupts it. Sometimes the explosion can still kill you. Which almost looked like what happened right there. But Mazizaw just sitting on it. Reboost's not really able to get a good defense on it. However, it's not enough points to win. But also on the next point, it's not going to be enough for Reboost to win either. And Mazizaw's already on it, and they only need 30 more. Reboost quickly takes it over. And any Mazizaw in the surrounding area. So this is really it's gonna come down to this basically right here. They want to get enough points that they can end it with the next hard point. And it looks like they're doing a pretty good job of having that happen. It's all going to come down to the next hard point. Whoever's on the next hard point is going to win this game. And that's either going to prolong the series, if Reboost can do it, or it's going to seal the deal for Mazizaw. But it looks like they're already crowding to that next point. And that 1v1 was a pretty big one, with God coming in there and just taking a couple extra points at the end. Reboost and Mazizaw already on the next point. It's contested. Crucial kill by Legion. Almighty wins that one, though. They're getting ever so closer. Huge kill by Genesis. But there was just too many Mazizaw players in the area. And that's going to seal the game, with Reboost spawning way too far on the other side of the map. Really good game. That was some back and forth action. I didn't know who was going to win. Definitely a nail-biter for sure. Yeah, this was a good play by Almighty. I think he got, yeah, four kills in the end. Wow. With that pretty sketchy reload mixed in. Okay, so let's take a look at the scores here. So, yet again, Mazizaw really keeping some good fragging statistics. Everybody in the positive except for skill this time. If you look on the other team here with Reboost, definitely they were playing a little bit more of a different setup with, it looks like, 2 fraggers and 3 objective players. But really close game. I don't know if they're going to play another one. Round 2 was kind of a lag fest 5,000. So I'm not sure if they're going to give the benefit of the doubt. It looks like players are already leaving the game, so I think they're going to call that one. And unless they're switching hosts, I'm not sure. Yeah, I believe that's going to be the end. They're just going to call it there. Well, that definitely was a pretty interesting few games. Other than the lag issues, which definitely caused some issues. But, you know, that was rectified in the next game. Both teams definitely put in a really good performance in the end. And yeah, I was definitely impressed by the performance on both teams in terms of fragging and objective play. But Mazizaw definitely takes that one 3-0. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I really appreciate your support for the UGL. And stay safe, stay healthy, and stay sweaty.